Alrighty. You are looking live. It's sold out at Life Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Houston Texans. And why are the Houston Texans 0-16? Because they suck. They've been around for over 20 years. They ain't never made it to a Super Bowl because they suck. We got to agree. Any team from Texas sucks. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Hold on. Got to move the chair. Time out. Got to move the chair here for my buddy Randy. Oh, sorry, buddy. Sorry. Okay, we can begin. Gonna try to go about 30 minutes during the night, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away. Throw in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But plus also, seriously, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free. Fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, the second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them, so if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live, if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Maybe you can give this video a thumbs up or share it. That'd be freaking awesome. And then finally, also, just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart. Can't stand change, right? Get off my lawn! One of them old-time farts, right? It's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter. Yeah, it's always Twitter to me. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. It'll be Twitter 3 trillion years from now. In my world, it's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. It's Twitter. You follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I put Giants-related stuff in my Twitter account every day. Then a link just on top of it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. We just reached 8,000 members. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. I just put it probably like another 20 different things in this group today. Every day. And not only do I put stuff in here, but if you're a member, members post stuff in here as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All that stuff said and done, out of the way with. Well, the Giants just keep on rocking and rolling. Hey, apparently. Same thing with the Philadelphia Eagles. They just keep signing. I think they're up to about 1,842 new free agents they added. I don't, I'm not really sure. Of course, then again, Howie Roseman, is wheeling and dealing and, I guess once again, he seems like he's kind of like maybe like, I don't know, kind of like all in, I don't know, the season, last season, I guess they just fell apart, and Howie's like, man, we blow. We just straight up blow, which they do. So let me bring in 847 new guys, which is, of course, not the way to win to build a team, but Howie's a moron. Anybody from Philadelphia is a moron, right? Anybody who likes the Eagles are morons. So let's bring in, every free agent. I'll just buy every free agent, bring them all in. Right? we'll try to win a Super Bowl with 75,000 new. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So, and of course, once again, I mean, is that it's just how ironic. It's kind of like I love me some Saquon and all that stuff and everything, but it's just ironic. It's like we'll bring in guys. Have like injury histories, and nobody's going to pay nobody's probably going to pay Saquon any more than 8 or 9 or whatever million a year. Hey, I'll pay him 13, 14 million. And I think with incentives, I can get like 15 or 16 million. So let's bring in the guys in the 7th year. Lots of injury history with them. Right? Nobody's going to pay him any more than maybe 8 or 9 or so million a year. I'll pay him up to 15, 16 million a year with incentives. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. I'll bring in Parris Campbell. His first 3 years, I think he played he missed a lot of time. First 3 years, a lot of time. I'll bring him in too. He's all injured and all. I mean, not last. Well, maybe when he got injured last season, quite possibly because he never played. But so. Parris Campbell, he's gone, but I mean, you knew there was no chance in HELLL hockey sticks that he was coming back. He wasn't coming back here. Giants weren't bringing him back. I have no idea why we signed him in the first place. I mean, it was just basically. I think I read it was like 4.7 million. I think just take that and just open the toilet, just drop that 4.7 right in there and just flush it. I had no idea, absolutely no idea. One more time for the hearing impaired. I have absolutely no idea why we brought him in here. If it was just going to, I mean, this is just, I just, why are we are we spending this money? I mean, $5 million on somebody who he wasn't even dressed. I mean, didn't dress, didn't no snap. I mean, where are we at here? There we go. Parris Campbell. All right, let's see. So we got his 20 receptions last season, right? And I'm saying, I certainly ain't saying nothing bad about him. You know what I mean? And to give the guy a lot of kudos and everything. It was kind of this, just the stuff you hear, the stories and all of that and whatnot. Got to give the guy a lot of credit. Same thing with Kenny Golladay. Whether you like him, not this, that, the other. The guy was last season was here. I mean, the guy was getting, it was like on average about $18 million a season, right, and all that stuff and everything. And he was on the sideline the whole time, and the guy could have really pissed and moaned and groaned and caused a big stink and this, that, and the other thing. And hey, let me tell you what. When he got his chance the last game of the season, he finally caught himself a touchdown pass for the New York Football Giants. And, whether the bad deal, good deal, you hate him, you like him, whatever, I got to give the guy some credit. Same thing with Parris Campbell. Right? The guy was, it was second round pick, I believe it was, fast, this, that, he had a lot of injuries early on. He had a good season in 2022, right? Giants signed him in 2023. He's fast, right? You think maybe the Dable Kafka kind of mindset kind of can maybe find something for Parris Campbell to do. Well, I guess Mama's wrong again, isn't she? I mean, he wound up with 20 catches, was it 104 yards? That was like 5 yards a catch. I mean, it's like. Then, of course, then to top it all off, I mean, the first couple weeks, he got some. Let's see here. Receiving, he got. Well, let's see. That's the wrong one. Let's see here. I think he was over the first 2 weeks. He was with the Giants. Over 47. 47 the first week against the Cowboys. Week number 2 against the Cardinals, and that big comeback, he had 45 plays. All right. Then after that, it just started. Against San Fran, it was 21. Okay. Then against Seattle, it was 23. But then after that, he had 16 against the Dolphins, 4 against Washington, 3 against the Jets. 14 against Las Vegas, 17 when we played the Cowboys again, 11 against the Commanders, and then his final game he played in against the Patriots. Six plays he played in. So he played a grand total 207 snaps for the Giants on offense. Basically, let's see, what does the article here say? Was it 4.7 million? Oh, wrong one there. It was 4 point. Oops, wrong one. Got so many tabs open up. Nope. But I mean, it was close to like $5 million. I mean, just absolutely just ridiculous that we wind up. I must have maybe I X'd out of it. Oh, there we go. Parris Campbell. I mean, it's just we got to be better with that. Allocating money. I mean, it just. Let's see here. He's 26, did next to nothing during his one season with the Giants, catching 20 passes, 104 yards, average 5 yards of reception, and 0 touchdown. The speedster did not see the field as much as expected after signing a 1 year, $4.7 million. Okay, it was about $5 million, but 4.7. He had 623 yards and 3 touchdowns in 2022. He had 24 targets over his first 4 games with the Giants, but his role quickly diminished. Oh, big time. Oh, my God. And he was inactive for the Giants' final 5 games. So basically it was kind of like, I guess, after, what would you say? Pop it up here. Yeah, inactive. Because after the Patriots, we had 5. We had with our bye week. So week 12 was the Patriots. So it was 6 more weeks in the season. One of the weeks was our bye week and 5 games. So the final 5 games of the season, he was inactive. I mean, it's just like, are you really kidding me? Absolutely amazing. I mean, you figure let's just say 7, 21, 31, 38, 48, 49, 55. 55. So like the final 11 weeks of the season, he played like 55 snaps. I mean, it's simply amazing, absolutely amazing. But the thing was, with the Eagles, they're getting a guy. I don't know what they're paying him, but the first 3 years of he played in 9? He played in 15 games his first 3 years. But so he started 3 games for the Giants. He caught 20 passes. But we got to be much better allocating our funds. I don't. Once again, I don't know. I don't know what going through Dable's mind and all that stuff and everything. But you got to spend almost $5 million in a receiver. It's just we're scoring like 3 points a game. Really, yeah. So he's on the sideline. This guy's, we're paying him almost $5 million. He's on the sideline. We came to score a field goal game, and yeah. Okay, all right. How many points did we score 2 years before that? How many points a game did we score that? And you got Kenny Golladay on the side. It's okay. Once again, I don't know. Obviously, don't know. Never will know as much as Dable and all those guys. But really, you put him in. Yeah, you start him for 1 game, and what's he do? He catches a touchdown pass. Yeah. From our 3rd string quarterback. So the final game of the season, we're on the road. Philadelphia is 2022. Kenny Golladay, right? He's in there, right? And Philadelphia needs the game. we don't need the game, right? So we put Kenny Golladay in there. He goes up against their best cornerback. We got our third string quarterback in there throwing passes. Kenny Golladay catches his only touchdown pass of his Giants career. So we couldn't use that during the regular season. So what do I got in there? You got it here somewhere. There we go. All right, so last season, the Giants averaged, and this is gonna bring, we averaged 15.6. What did we average in 2022? Points for 21.5. So we plummeted last season. So with 21.5 points per game, which was right around the middle of the road. But I don't know. Once again, why can't he? Just very stubborn. But I mean, we got a third string quarterback in there, throws it up. Kenny Golladay comes down with the ball. That's what he does. Yeah, I mean, because he doesn't maybe get separation. It's like, you don't get enough separation. Yeah. Okay. All right. But at least I'm very happy we brought Isaiah Hodgins back. Look, we're not bringing Simmons back. Doesn't seem like that. I guess he's not a fit for the Bowen defense, I guess. But at least we brought Hodgins back. Very happy about that. It was kind of the same thing like with him. I don't know why. Maybe because maybe the Daniel Jones connection was there in 2022. Because, I mean, if we look with Hodgins, right, when he had Daniel Jones throwing the ball, basically he only played 8 games. He played the last half of the season in 2022 for the Giants. He caught 33 passes for 4 touchdowns. You multiply that out, right? If he played the whole season for the Giants, possibly with Daniel Jones, maybe, right? He would have had 66 receptions, 700 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And I don't think that includes his the playoff game. So, I mean, all things considered, that was pretty impressive. Unfortunately, last season, I said maybe, I don't know, maybe with Tyrod and maybe with Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan, maybe he wasn't a good fit. I don't know. That's possible. But last season, he only caught 20. In the whole season, 17 games. He was available all season long. He played in all 17 games. He caught 21 passes. But out of those 21 passes, he had 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, I'll tell you what. You find me somebody who catches every 7th pass, catches a touchdown. That's pretty impressive. I mean, you look at it here for the Giants, right? He scored 54 passes for 7 touchdowns. That's like, with that would be 1 every 7.5, about 1 every 8 catches is a touchdown. I'll take that, right? Let's hope that they can find someplace, for him to do. He's 6'3", nice size, nice height, right? I'm sure they're bringing him in. I'm sure there's no guarantee to make the roster or not like that. Because quite possibly we're going to draft a receiver. We got Slayton, right? Robinson, Hyatt. We got Hodgins. We're going to draft somebody. Bryce Ford Wheaton. I'll have to wait and see if he's going to come back. I'm kind of anxious to see what he might be able to do. But I'm very, very happy because I'm sure that they got him on the cheap. And once again, I just hate that. I mean, it's like, I like, I like the team aspect. I'm saying 2 years ago we did good. Why are we just like throwing them away a year or so later? I just never understand that. And you're never gonna know because you're never gonna get a straight answer from any of the coaches or Shane or nothing like that. We just thought it was best that we just move on, or we just unfortunately, you're never going to know. But nice breath of fresh air for the Giants 2 seasons ago. Why you can't use them anymore? Right? What? So maybe it was a Daniel Jones kind of connection. So Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But very happy that they did bring Isaiah Hodgins back. Very happy for that. And then, of course, we signed another tackle. Now, this guy's kind of like a little Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde here, okay? You're not exactly sure which guy you're going to wind up getting. He's had last season he played in let's see, I gotta find out here with Matt Nelson. Let's see. Last season, I think he played in 3 games. Let's find him. Here we go. Matt Nelson. Yes, he played in the first 3 games of the season last year. Now, I did this on a video, was it a couple nights ago, talking about, because they brought him in for a talk. But I mean, obviously now they signed him. But he played in 85 snaps last season, according to PFF. He gave up 2 pressures. So that's not too bad. That's acceptable, right? The problem is that in 2022, he played in 70 snaps. He gave up 1 pressure. So you figure the last 2 seasons, 155 snaps. 155 snaps, 3 pressures. No sacks, 3 pressures. So basically every 50 offensive plays, okay, that he gave up a pressure. So that's not too bad. That's certainly not too bad at all. The problem, okay, is that we're not sure if it's that or if we have the 2021 version where he played in 675 snaps. They were actually, I mean, if you want to look at it, he gave 416 pass blocking snaps in 2021. 416. He gave up 41 pressures. So basically, every 1 out of every 10 times the quarterback drops back to pass, he gave up a pressure. So if you want to just say in a normal game, just say the Giants drop back to pass 30 times. Okay, it's probably more than that, but just say 30. You give up 3 pressures. That's not good. So basically in a 17-game schedule, he would be giving up, 17, 30, 51 pressures. That's not good. Not good at all. And actually, it would probably be even more than that. I mean, just 30 pass attempts. That'd probably be more than that, especially the way Dable wants to throw the ball. I mean, so he would be on pace in 2021 to give up probably 60 pressures, maybe even more than that. That's horrible. So you're not sure which one you're getting. You're getting the 2021 version or you're getting the 2022, 2023 version. Now, maybe 2021, he obviously wasn't that good. And maybe he worked on his technique, got a little bit better, studied film, whatever. Maybe the past couple of seasons, maybe he got a little bit better. Maybe with Carmen Brasillo, maybe he'll get even maybe a little bit better. Who knows? But we got a boatload of guys on the, let's see here if I can find this here. Let's see, I got 7,000 tabs open up here. We got a lot of guys, especially if you're talking about like guys we signed like for futures contracts and stuff like that. We got Andrew Thomas, Yadni Kajust. I love that name. Joshua Miles, Aaron Stinney, or shall I say Aaron Stinney, Joshua Zudu, John Michael Schmitz, Austin Schlotman, I believe it is. Not Schlott, it's Schlotman. Jimmy Morrissey, John Runyon, Marcus McKeithen, Jalen Mayfield, Jermaine Illuminor, Evan Neal, Matt Nelson. I mean, we got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, we got like 14 guys. Yeah, they're not all making the roster. You figure and then you figure also is that somewhere along the line, you got 14 guys, right? You figure if it's quite possibly we might draft somebody, possibly. There's not a lock on that because we brought in a lot of guys. But if we draft somebody, I'm going to say 14 guys, that's a lot, right? If on the active roster, say we have 8, maybe, 9 at the absolute most, that would leave 5 extra guys. You're not going to have 5 offensive linemen on the practice squad. That's not happening. So, I mean, out of all these guys, some of these guys aren't even making the roster, and Nelson might be one of them. However, I mean, we're looking for some depth at tackle and all that stuff, or maybe he's played right and left tackle. Okay, so maybe hey, if Carmen Brazil can work his magic, maybe we just find ourselves a swing tackle. Who knows? Let's not forget about Tyree Phillips, although we're not sure, if we're going to maybe bring him back. He might be worth a shot too, but I don't know where he's at as far as his, after the season, he had the injury and everything like that. But I mean, if they're going to kick Evan Neal inside or something, or Illuminor is going to be inside or whatever, maybe they might need their tackle there. So the draft as you can find tackles aplenty, right? So if we're not drafting Alt or whatever in the first round, which I don't think we are, we need a dog. That's what we need. We need an ABC dog. We need ourselves a dog of a wide receiver. I'm gonna go over that in just a minute or two here. So we but I mean, and I can't say we're not drafting a tackle in the second round. That would be straight up crazy. I mean, if you're going to draft somebody for an offensive line, we're looking at, I could see 5th, 6th round, maybe 4th to 6th round, because anybody we're drafting is just going to be straight up depth. So you don't want to draft somebody in the 3rd round when you can maybe grab a good tight end, especially if Waller's not. Right? Or you don't want to draft a tackle who's probably going to be on the bench, right? And when you can draft a cornerback, or maybe get yourself a good interior defensive lineman or safety. You know what I mean? So if we're looking at offensive linemen, okay, we're looking at probably, I'm thinking 5th or 6th round. But but at worst comes to worst, probably 4th, 5th or 6th round if we're taking an offensive line. But once again, I mean, if you draft, then all these guys you brought in, you're going to have what, 15 guys? I mean, 15 offensive linemen. How many of them aren't going to make the team? And then, of course, after that, too, let's not forget, you figure after the draft's over with, you're going to have your undrafted free agents. They might be bringing a couple of those guys in as well, too. So, but once again, Nelson, he's the one nice thing with that, he's coming from Detroit, right? They got a good pedigree over there, right? I said so Nelson's had some good, and he's had some bad. I saw one. It was just one video. It was in the Facebook group. I don't even know who they were playing against, because it was like panned back. I mean, you could just see the defensive line, the offense, and all of that and everything. So it was from the end zone and everything. But he was the left tackle. And I said, I don't know who they were going up against, because there was no sound to the video from what I can remember. But I believe Goff snapped the ball. He drops back. He hands the ball off. I don't know who he even handed the ball to, but Nelson, got back in his, and he's, it was the end, the defensive end / edge rusher, whatever you want to call him, started blocking him, right? Oh, okay, we're on to something here. All right. There's kind of, he had his hips turned and all of that. And it was like a little bit of a hole opened up. I'm like, oh, man. It's like, oh, okay, Nelson. All right, cool. They're showing his good blocking ability. He's opening up the hole. The Lions are going to take it to the house in this one. He's probably, he's doing good. And all of a sudden, the defensive lineman grabs him, throws him to the side, and comes in and makes the tackle. I mean, he's the one who makes the tackle. Now he doesn't get in on it. It wasn't, he gets stuck up at the line of scrimmage, and the defensive lineman gets on the – no, the defensive line basically takes Nelson, throws him about 300 yards into the 37th row, and goes in there and makes the tackle. So I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not good. So, that's hopefully he's going to get better. Hopefully, maybe Carmen Brazil can maybe work some magic with him. But so let's not get with Nelson here. Let's just, because we're bringing somebody in. Just once again, let's not get overly excited about him. Once again, he's just somebody coming in. We just signed. All right, you got to sign some people. We signed him. All right. So we got Azeez Ojulari in. We're once again, we got a plethora now of offensive linemen. Just because you got numbers doesn't mean, right? Hopefully we're taking all of this, we're throwing it on the wall. And you know what? When you throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, hopefully one of them sticks, right? Hopefully something, right? So hopefully Carmen Priscilla can work some magic with some of these guys, right? I really think that after, the guys that we brought in, I'm not saying we're going to be a top 5 unit, maybe not even a top 10, but can we go from like number 31 to maybe, in the teens someplace? I'll be happy. Can we go to like 15? I'll be happy with that. I mean, that would be huge, absolutely huge. But it'd be interesting to see, okay, what coaching can do for you, right? Very, 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 very interesting to see. We go from, not being able to block anybody, giving up 85 sacks in 17 games, the second most sacks of all time, right? To let's see where we go. And I'll go to show you what coaching can do. Yeah, maybe not 100% all coaching, but we're gonna have Neil. He ain't going nowhere unless these guys get injured, right? We got Michael Schmitz, we got Neil, right? We got Andrew Thomas, right? McKeithen and Azudu or we'll be battling for something, right? So I'm very interested to see what what's his name, Priscilla can do with this crew here. All right, let's see what we got here. Next, oh man. So Giants, okay, with the sexy one. Now they got, they still have, okay. There's a couple other moves they could do here, okay. But they had to start off with somebody. Now, basically, the amount of money that he created, they restructured Sexy Dexy's contract, basically created $7.5 million in extra salary cap. So basically, what it was, they gave him like a $10 million signing bonus, right? Which is good for Sexy because hey, I'll sign it, sure, because it's like here's your $10 million right now. Oh, thank you, right? Cash in pocket, gotta love it. But what they did is they took the $10 million and you divide it up into the 4 years of the contract, right? So the salary, it's the $10 million, $2.5 million goes for each 4 years, because you divide it up into 4 years, right? So $2.5 million of that signing bonus has to be added on to this season, right? So basically, so there's $7.5 million. Right, that'll be added on to 2025, 26, and 27. So they're saving themselves $7.5 million this year, which is pretty cool. Now the nice thing is here, I mean, which is if he's thinking about doing it, right? Is that we got it here? There we go. What they could do is with Andrew Thomas. Now his base salary this season is $14 million, right? What it looks like, right? 14 million. It's guaranteed. So, I mean, so they could quite possibly, maybe do something along the lines with something like with the Andrew Thomas kind of thing as well, too. Now, with his, because his, now I think, I'm not exactly sure, because I know you can stretch it out over the length of the contract. I'm not sure if it's a 5 or 6 year deal, you can stretch it out over 6 years. I think you can only sign a 4, maybe 5 years, stretch it out if you give him a signing bonus. But I mean, they could probably do something along the same lines with him, right? Give him a signing bonus because, what they save with Sexy is basically what they're going to kind of need to sign like their draft class, right? So it still doesn't give them a lot of extra, money, especially if they're going to, they're bringing in Tre'Davious White. I mean, I haven't heard anything about that. If he left the building, if anything's going on, if this, if that I have not heard. But I mean, if you're going to bring somebody like him and at least give him a few $1 million, you're going to need some money, right? And they're going to need some additional money. I mean, you just can't go into the season, right? I mean, they got. Let's see, what does they have him at here? Whoops. This is over the cap here, as the Giants with. Still Andrew Thomas here. Try that again here. There we go. Giants have $8.7 million. Okay. Now, nope. Let's see where we got here. Do I have this anywhere? I had it someplace. All right. Well, maybe it's here. I got, once again, I got 3 million tabs opened up here. Well, I had, let's see here. There we go. Nope. There we go. Okay. Now the Giants, according to this over the cap here, the Giants, their sixth pick is going to cost them $6 million. Their second pick is going to cost them about 1.8 million, almost 1.9. So basically between it's going to cost them about $8 million for the 2 draft picks. Now it's because it's the top 51. So if they're adding $8 million to their top 51, basically a couple guys at the bottom get kicked out of the 51. So basically the $8 million is really only going to cost cap-wise maybe about $6 million. Okay. But I mean, what I said is that here, the Giants have, once again, as I said, according to over the cap here. If you go to Spot Track, it says one thing. Over the cap says something else. Right now, it says they have 8.7 million. But if the draft class is going to cost them, say, about 6 million, that gives them $2.7 million to go into the season with, and they could do something with Daniel Jones's contract. Okay, but I don't think they want to do anything with Daniel. I don't think they want to touch that with a 10. It was kind of the same thing with Leonard Williams' contract. I don't think that, Kenny Galladay's contract. I don't think I want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. The one thing that would be a little bit of a saving grace, which would be kind of good, kind of bad, would be if Darren Waller were to retire. Now, his salary is about $14 million this season. They owe him there's almost 7.8 or 7.9. If he retires, they owe him like 7.9. But if he retires, they'll save about 6.1 million. Okay. So, I mean, if you start, that 6.1, that's having that money to go into the season with is pretty good. Okay. Obviously, you still would like to have more than that, but I mean, that would be huge. I mean, it would not be, it's kind of pick your poison, right? You're saving some money, right? And you'll be getting his contract off the books, and you don't have to worry about him anymore, and you don't have to worry about his hamstrings or nothing about anymore. He's all, and you'll be saving yourself some money. So you add another $6 million to the salary cap. Maybe it said if you can restructure Andrew Thomas's and add another $5, $6, $7, $8 million to the cap. Okay, cool. All right. So maybe you can bring in another nice little, free agent or two or something like that. You can sign your draft class and still have money going into the season, which would be great. The problem is that, you're kind of counting on Darren Waller to be one of your, threats, your weapons, right? Especially because you lost Saquon. Now, let's not forget. I mean, let's not forget. Singletary's not just chump change, right? He's not Chuck E. Cheese, right? He's a weapon. I mean, but he's not quite Saquon. I would take Saquon over Devin Singletary. But hey, Devin, you want to be here? Unlike Saquon, right? Happy to have you, pal. But we're kind of counting on Waller to be, you're one of your big targets, especially in the tight end department. Because other than that, we got like 300 tight ends 299 of them were blocking tight ends, and none of them scare you. Not one guy scares you. Bellinger, his blocking's got to get better than what it was last season. He better do, but But he's good. He has good hands. So if he gets open, you find him, you throw him the ball. You pretty much got yourself a reception. But he's got to do a better job. But I mean, as far as just scaring you, our one scary tight end might be retiring. Yeah, so might have to replace him. And the problem is that if you look last season, right? Two of our biggest threats, two of our biggest weapons might be gone. Saquon and Waller. And I said, then you look at, I've seen this in Facebook groups too. They're showing, the New York Giants possible, especially if Waller were to retire, possible Giants 2024 offense. And it's like, that quarterback, Daniel Jones, tight end, Daniel Bellinger, running back, Devin Singletary. Then you got Slayton, Robinson, and Hyatt. It's like, holy, yeah. I can see why we scored 15 points a game last season. So, we better start, adding back some weapons, right? And I said, we are, we're trying to compete and build, right? So we're not going to, we got a little grocery list of things that we still need. We're not checking them all off this season. Hopefully between this season and next season with free agency and the draft next season, hopefully we can have almost all of the grocery list checked off, right? We can maybe use another safety, right? Whether you like Belton and Pinnock, but we need some depth at safety, right? We need a cornerback, right? We need a interior defensive lineman. So we need at least 3 guys on defense, right? We don't know if we're needing a quarterback, not exactly sure, but a possibility we might draft a quarterback. So I'll just say I'll put a quarterback in there, right? We need a wide receiver, but hopefully we're going to draft one, right? Are we going to get our offensive line figured out this year? We'll have to wait and see. We could certainly use maybe another running back by committee, maybe a nice banger or something like that, right? And we need a tight end. So we need like at least I'm saying at least 6. Now, as I said, maybe you want to throw in a linebacker, another edge, and maybe another edge rusher, something like that. So maybe we need like 7, and then of course fill in with some depth behind it. So I'm saying it's a 7. Okay, that's fair. What I'm saying, but if you look, right, we could probably get maybe somebody at edge rusher, maybe in the 3rd round. We get a nice tight end in the 3rd, something like that. Maybe a good depth, whatever cornerback, or good, maybe our 2nd cornerback in the 3rd round. Get a good interior defensive lineman in the 2nd round. Get our a wide receiver in the 1st round. Said next season, our first 2-3 rounds or so, maybe we can check off a couple more things on the grocery list. Next season, we should have some money to spend in free agency, right? So maybe we can check off another 1 or 2 guys. Right? Especially if we let Azeez Ojulari go, we need another. We need another. We need a 3rd edge rusher. Got to have a 3rd edge rusher, right? So, what I'm saying, but we got a little grocery list, but we ain't going to be able to check everything off all this season, right? So at least the Giants added some more cap space. I said with Bobby Okereke, they could do probably something with him. I said Andrew Thomas, they could do something with him. If Darren Waller were to retire, they'd save a little over $6 million in cap space there. I don't think they want to touch Daniel Jones's contract with a 10-foot pole, so they still have some options. And after that, there's always, once again, where there's a will, there's a way, right? If they need to come up, if they absolutely had to come up with some extra money, right? Like if you're looking at just looking at something like this, right? If they knew, like if somebody came available or something like that. And it would cost, I'm just throwing this out there, it would cost the Giants, like, say, $10 million to bring somebody really good in. That would, like, say, a cornerback, a real good cornerback. And this season, it would cost them $10 million. But they knew going forward, they'd have to sign him maybe through a 3-year deal. But this guy could be really good. This could be a really good second corner. Right, and it would cost, I'm just saying, $10 million a season, right? So this season, say, it would cost them $10 million. If absolute worst, and that would solve their cornerback problem. If absolute worst came to absolute worst, then maybe they might touch Daniel Jones' contract. I mean, because if you figure, if you give him a signing bonus and you take $10 million and you kick it down the road a little bit, but even if you might be getting rid of Daniel Jones and it might have some dead cap money going forward and all that. But if you can bring that second corner in, so now you got your 2 cornerbacks. What I mean? It might be worth maybe doing something like that. But we'll have to wait and see. Got a long way to go. Long way to go. But at least we know the Giants do have options as far as being able to save some money. So that's good. That's really, really good. All right. Then we got the Cardinals are open for business. Okay. All right. Well, the one thing is, okay, it's maybe not so much what you think. I mean, thinking about, meaning the Giants going to trade up to the Cardinals for pick number 4? Well, not necessarily, but this could be a good thing. So the Arizona Cardinals say they're open for business with the number 4 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, and that could have major implications for the Giants. Could be really good implications for the Giants. Please, let me explain. I mean, this could be freaking unbelievable for the New York Giants. Once again, please, let me explain. There will be a big neon sign that says open, and I don't like it blinking. It messes with my eyes, but we're always going to be listening. Ossenfort joked Wednesday at a news conference alongside head coach Jonathan Gannon. I think we'll always have the conversation. We may not get to a point where a deal makes sense, whether it's at number 4 or anywhere we're picking, but we're always going to have the conversation. And if it makes sense, if it's attractive to building our team, then it's something that we'll certainly consider no matter where we're at in the draft. Now it says here, the Giants have the number 6 overall pick. They're facing a fascinating and potentially franchise-altering decision. They have longed for a playmaking number 1 wide receiver for years, and one or both of Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze of Washington could be available at number 6. They also face a quarterback conundrum with Daniel Jones' injury history, poor 2023 performance, and his contract situation. Yep. Quarterback Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels are expected to go in the first 3 picks. Their raging debate in the NFL draft universe is over Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy, with whom the Giants had dinner last week. Well, once again, don't fall into this stuff and, oh my God, they talked to so-and-so. They got to be drafting them. That's it right there. No, they're doing their due diligence. And it said, here's McCarthy worth the 6th overall pick. If the Giants want him, can they even wait until the 6th pick with a quarterback-hungry team like the Vikings, lurking as a potential trade-off partner for the Cardinals or the Chargers, with who have the 5th overall pick? If the Giants want to trade up, do they have the ammunition to outbid the Vikings, who possess picks 11 and 23 in round 1? Ossenfort admitted Wednesday that his phone has been ringing. Okay. You say, I'd say those phone calls are starting to pick up a little bit. I would say they'll probably continue into next week when we get down to Florida for the owners' meeting, said Ossenfort, who orchestrated 5 draft-related trades last year. I think most teams are in a similar spot to us and starting to finalize their boards. And the pro day pieces are kind of the final on-field piece for evaluation purposes. So I'd imagine some of those conversations will continue to pick up. But honestly, they probably will not get real serious until we get right up until the week of the draft. Because, I mean, a lot of times it's like, they don't know who's going to be available. Right? I mean, if the Vikings wanted to trade up with them, well, whatever. Say they want Daniels or McCarthy. Well, just say Caleb Williams goes, Daniels, and then McCarthy goes, and at pick 4, it got May. Well, the Vikings like, well, we don't want May. So, okay, so so they have to wait and see who's going to be available. But the thing is that if you look, right, now the Vikings, all right, if you go by the points, right, the point scale, right, by the draft board, the Arizona, their pick number 4 is worth 1,800 points, okay? But if you don't trade up in the first round, all right, if you're a quarterback needy team and all that, you don't trade up and for pick 4 and just give 1,800 points. Now, usually there's a little more of a premium. Now, interestingly enough, Minnesota's pick 11 and their second first-round pick they have, pick 23. Pick 11 is worth 1,250 points. Pick 23 is worth 760 points. So basically it's worth about 2,000 points. The Cardinals pick 4 is worth 1,800. So that's very close to being about even, because usually if you're trading up in the first round, there's a little bit of a juice, shall we say, right? If you're losing to your bookie, right, a little bit of a juice, right? So that you have to pay a little bit extra premium usually. So the Vikings trade up with their 2 first-round picks to get pick 4. They're trading away like 2,000 points to get the pick 4, which is valued at 1,800. So there could be some swapping back at the end of the, like Minnesota will trade their 2 first-round picks to get pick 4, but then the Cardinals will also take their 3rd-round pick and they'll give Minnesota their 3rd-round pick, and Minnesota gives them their 4th round. They'll do maybe some silly swapping of later-round picks or whatever. But I can see Minnesota quite possibly giving their 2 first-round picks to trade up with the Cardinals for pick 4. Now, where this could quite possibly really work out well for the Giants. All right, so now just imagine, right? If the Giants, if they want themselves a wide receiver, if they're not stone cold locked in on one of these, or if they think maybe maybe the Rattle Man, right? Maybe later on, or maybe if somehow they think, they can jump up back into the first round and get Knicks or Penix or one of those other guys, or one of the other guys, right? They think they take on a flyer on one of these other guys in the 2nd round or the 3rd round, right? I'm saying where this could really work out good for the Giants, right? Say if Caleb Williams goes 1, and then say whoever Daniels goes 2, and May goes 3. Well, say McCarthy's there at 4. Say Minnesota's like, there's our guy. We want McCarthy. Pick the phone up. You call Arizona. We're open for business. And once again, it takes 2 to tango. Just because they're calling up with 2 first-round picks, Cardinals may not want to jump all the way back to number 11. They're like, man, we can do some freaking damage with this. We can take Marvin Harrison Jr., couple him up with Murray. I mean, man, we got a connection for years. I mean, holy cow! They want to give that up. So it takes 2 to tango. Just because Minnesota's calling, Cardinals are going to pick the phone up, but that doesn't mean it's going to get done. But just say they do, or say Minnesota's like, I'll tell you what, all right, we'll give you a 3rd-round pick too. How's that? or something. They work something out, right? So Minnesota jumps up, boom, to number 4 in front of the Giants, right? So they're not giving up 2 first-round picks. Just I'd be shocked to grab Marvin Harrison Jr. That'd be a bit much. But so probably jumping up because they need a quarterback. Grab a quarterback, right? So now the first 4 picks are gone, right? Quarterback. Now, 5 rolls around, right? Now the thing is kind of this is where it makes it a little bit of a stretch for me to say this, but what does Harbaugh like to do? He likes to run the football, right? He's got his pick right there of any offensive lineman, especially an offensive lineman, but to protect Herbert, right? Wouldn't that be freaking awesome if he picked Alt? Right? Caleb Williams, boom, 1. Daniels, 2, boom. May, 3, boom. McCarthy, 4, boom. Alt, 5, bam. Giants sitting there at 6. What do we got at 6? We got 1, 2, 3. 3 wide receivers. Holy freaking minks. Huh? Holy cow. Wow. Or if worse comes to worse, just say, because I think the Chargers, because it was salary, I think they were $300 trillion over the cap. They had to basically get rid of their good wide receivers. Maybe they take Harrison. Okay. But still, what would that do for the Giants? They'd have either Neighbors or Dunze to pick, right? They have the choice. The thing that would kind of stink would be like if Caleb Williams goes 1, May goes 2, Daniels goes 3, Harrison Jr. goes 4, Dunze goes 5. Like we're stuck with, well, not you don't want to say stuck with Neighbors. You don't want to say stuck with the Dunze. But you're like, I'm saying, but maybe, just maybe, Dable's like, man, I'd like to get Neighbors. Dunze is cool. But man, that Neighbors, man, that guy's special. At 5, if you're danger, the Jets, yeah, you think? Lots of rumors about that. If JD is serious about all mentality, Malik wouldn't be bad, but even at 6, though. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, anything's possible. It's a draft. Well, it's one thing I always say. If you got a guy that you want, you know what I mean? Especially in the top. I mean, especially if he's like one of these wide receivers or something like that. I mean, who can make Rodgers very happy, go get him. Whatever it's going to cost. They got the defense, right? The only thing, you have to wait. Are they going to have an offensive line to be able to protect Rodgers? But, if they can get Rodgers another wide receiver and somehow they can find a way to protect me, boy, the Jets could be off and running, boy. Especially if they keep Rodgers standing all season long, because they got the defense. The Jets are only a couple pieces away on offense from maybe really making a good run. I mean, they did pretty good last season with pretty much no offense. Who knows? All signing or injury prone. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, that was just absolutely unfreaking believable. I mean, who in their wildest 4 plays into the season? 4 plays. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? And it's a shame because just goes to show you. I mean, their defense was really good, really, really good. I mean, if they had an offense, I mean, could you imagine what they could have possibly been? It's a shame. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the top, whatever. Yeah. I mean, if somebody wants to jump up in front of you, right? They see somebody they want to go get them. Absolutely. Absolutely. But with the Giants, I mean, if they can have their choice. So I'm saying, so if Minnesota jumps in front of the Giants at pick 4 and 4 quarterbacks are gone, I mean, okay. But that means that then there's the Chargers or whoever, and then maybe the Giants. So hopefully, right? So there'll be 3 wide receivers. So the Giants are going to have a choice, quite possibly, if the Vikings jump up in front of the Giants, right? Giants should have the quite possibility of a choice of 2 wide receivers. So they can have Neighbors or Dunze. So that could really work out really, really well for the Giants. So we'll have to wait and see. As I said, once again, you don't know with the Giants what they want to do. I mean, I was hearing, was it McCarthy had his pro day and Shane wasn't even there. So I mean, if you think he's, I mean, it could be all smoke and mirrors and all that stuff and everything. And he talked to McCarthy and all of that, but I mean, he keep hearing all these reports and everything like that. Like, Giants and McCarthy. I don't know. Sounds like a match made in heaven and all of this. So I mean, if McCarthy, had his pro day, don't you think Shane might want to be there? There's a lot of guys there. I heard there was like 150 people there. Which is like a lot. And Shane wasn't one of them. I don't know. I'm not so sure how those. I said once again, it could be all smoke and mirrors. But if the Giants were really high up on McCarthy and they think they really wanted to get him, I think Shane would want to see him as many times as possible. But apparently he wasn't there. So, but I think I know they sent some guys there. One of them was the tight end coach. But I was just a little shocked that Shane was not at McCarthy's pro day. So, all right, and finally, we got. I tell you what, boy, I don't know. I had to dump some cold water on me, wake myself up, and make sure I was reading this right. Somehow, the Giants have the 6th most expensive offense in the NFL. I'm like, we averaged 15.6 points per season last year. We have 6th most expensive. It's like, are you kidding me? and our best offensive weapon, Saquon's not even on the team. We don't have a number 1 wide receiver. Our best offensive weapon is gone. We didn't re-sign him. Waller's still on the team for the time being. Our offensive line was in a shambles, and we have the 6th most expensive offensive. Holy cow. Isn't 2 of your line still in the rookie deal? Well, we just signed Andrew Thomas. He's making like 20-something million. Hold on. Give me a second here. I got 3,000 tabs opened up here. All right, Andrew Thomas. His base salary, he's making $23 million this year. So basically between Andrew Thomas and Daniel Jones, it's $70 million for the 2 guys. Now, the one nice thing, if we want to get out of Daniel Jones's contract, we can kind of get rid of him after this season. We'll have the dead cap money, but we can kind of get out of it. Yeah, so $70 million for those 2 guys, yeah. But I'm like, it's like, are you kidding me? It's like we averaged 2 touchdowns a game last season. Where what? Man. Let's see. Wait. So what are we at here? It's $148.5 million they're spending on their offense. I guess $150 million just doesn't get you what it used to. But if you look at it, you got the Browns are number 1, 188.8. Now I think 180 million of that is Deshaun Watson. I think because he all his guaranteed money and all of that. But then you got the Rams are number 2, 178 million. The Cowboys are number 3, 158. The Chiefs are number 4, 152, and the Broncos, 151. So how's that? You got the Broncos, right? Their offense was horrible. They had 151 million. Of course, a lot of that is with the Russell Wilson. But then you got the Giants. Yeah, top 5. 151. I'm saying, if you get rid of Russell Wilson's contract, because there's a lot of dead money with him. But once if they ever get rid of his contract, that's going to come way down, big time. But it's like, I think they're probably looking for a quarterback, right? And they have $151 million they're spending on their offense. Let's see who else is here. Giants are number 6. Cardinals are number 7. Falcons are number 8. 49ers are number 9. The Giants spending $10 more million than the 49ers are. Now, basically, the reason why is because of Brock Purdy's getting paid like about 42 cents a year because he was Mr. Irrelevant. And the Giants are paying Daniel Jones $47 million this year. That's why. But, see, that kind of goes to show you the importance of trying to make things happen if you can on a quarterback's rookie deal, unless you can get yourself a Patrick Mahomes, because you get somebody who's like the upper echelon, right? He can take less value and make more of it, right? If you got somebody like a Daniel Jones, see, that's the problem with Daniel Jones, right? Regardless if you like him or not, he's a decent quarterback, right? But on a non-rookie deal where you got to pay him this year, it's $47 million, right? That's that much less money to go around. Everything's got to be really good around Daniel Jones for him to really shine. So for things to be really good for Daniel Jones, to make him shine, to make it good, it means good ball players. Well, you get good ball players, you got to sometimes pay for good ball players. And it's kind of tough to pay for good ball players when you're paying your quarterback almost $50 million a year. I mean, DJ would probably win MVP. Oh yeah. I mean, my God. I mean, Deebo Samuel and Ayuk and McCaffrey and the Skittle man. I mean, their offensive line is really good. I mean, they got one of the best left tackles in football. I mean, he knows he could get the ball, drop back over here, right? And he knows nobody's touching him over here because he's got Williams, number 71, I think. Williams has got his back. Daniel Jones could look this way all year long, and nobody's touching him, unlike the Giants, right? I mean, Daniel Jones drops back within like half a second. He's got like 9 guys ready to rip his head off. Well, it's like with Purdy. Take Purdy, put Purdy on the Giants behind that offensive line with those weapons, and let's see what Purdy can do. Good luck. God bless, brother. He ain't taking nobody to the Super Bowl. Think about his legs and that line, too. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, a lot of it depends upon, it's not, it's the situation you're in. As I said, whether you like him or not, Daniel Jones is a scale of 1 to 10. You got to give him, I'll say like a 6, maybe a 7, maybe. We got Patrick Mahomes is like a 10. And then, of course, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are 1. I mean, Daniel Jones probably maybe a 6 or a 7. But, so you can get nice things out of him, but things got to really be good. He's got to get maybe some good protection, good wide receivers and all that. And Daniel Jones can maybe do some good things. But it's hard to pay Daniel Jones almost $50 million a season. And, it doesn't leave you a lot of money to pay other guys, right? Because, I mean, like with the 49ers, I mean, they have money to pay McCaffrey, to pay the Skittle man, right? Kittles, right? To pay maybe Ayuk, Deebo Samuels, their offensive linemen. They got money to pay those guys because you're paying Purdy like, I mean, he's on I don't know, a 7th round pick. What the heck's he making? Right? I mean, the problem is like with the 49ers is Purdy's only got 4 years because he's a 7th round pick, right? There is no 5th-year option on him or not like that. So they're going to have to probably either, if they're going to pay Purdy, they're going to have to start jettisoning some of their players. And I don't know if they're going to want to do that. Or, Shanahan's, is a very good coach. They maybe start looking in the draft, maybe to replace Purdy, right? Because, I mean, once you start paying Purdy, I said, there goes this guy, there goes that, because you can't afford to pay him anymore, right? So it's going to be interesting to see. But I'll tell you what, boy, I had a hard time. But it just goes to show you. It's like, I mean, the Broncos, I mean, the Giants, I mean, just because you're paying a lot of money does not mean you're going to get a lot of return on a lot of bang for your buck. And I tell you what, the Giants are not getting bang for their buck. That is for sure. Let's see. It says the Giants, let's see here. One of the focuses during the offseason for the Giants is fixing the offense, and more specifically the offensive line. But the offense in general needs some love. Currently, the Giants' offense is slated to cost over $148 million in 2024, and this is without Saquon Barkley. According to NFL analyst Warren Sharp, who cites over the cap's figures, the total is the sixth highest in the NFL. Also, per over the cap, the Giants' offense takes up roughly 63% of the team's spending. We can't score any points. We don't have Saquon Barkley no more, and it takes up over almost 2/3 of the team's spending. Wow. Of that, roughly 22% goes to the offensive line. However, those numbers don't include the additions of Aaron Stinney and Austin Schlottman, which only means that the offense is going to get even more expensive. Daniel Jones takes up the most space, as he should, but behind him is Andrew Thomas, whose 2024 cap hit is less than half of Jones. Andrew Thomas is like 23.5. Daniel Jones's cap hit's like 47. So, on top of all this, the Giants still have to get through the draft. And, as I said, I think about it, because if they take it at wide receiver at number 6, that's like $6 million. That's another $6 million they got to add on to that, right? Defensively, the Giants are spending $86.4 million on the defense. Simply amazing. And that's what helped keep the Giants in the games last season, right? Which was the better unit in 2023. With this offense as expensive as it is, and that number only expected to rise, that side of the football needs to perform a lot better. Oh, my goodness. Actually, let's rephrase. Joe Schoen and Brian Dable need the Giants to perform in 2024. It's amazing. They're spending like over $60 more million on their offense, and they stink. What's your take on this free agency? The O-line is revamped and the defense is looking scary. Just need to sign it. Yeah, I don't think they're going after Simmons. Doesn't look like it. It's a shame because because they got because when they had Wink Martindale there, Shane sees who's available. Isaiah Simmons is available. Wink picks up his cell phone, calls up Wink. Hey, Wink, what do you think if I get Isaiah Simmons? And Wink Martindale's like, are you kidding me? You can get him? Hell yeah, dude. Bring him on in, right? And so Shane picks up his cell phone, right? Calls over to the Cardinals. Hey, how's it going? Can we give you a 7th-round pick for Simmons? Yeah, okay. Send him on over, brother. We'll give you a call, right? But that was with Wink Martindale. Now we got Now Wink is now apparently he's the highest paid defensive maybe coordinator or the highest paid coordinator in all of college football or something. I read something like that in an article. But now he's gone. Right now we got Bowen. So Bowen's kind of like looking at him, looking at what Simmons can do. Can he, and the other thing too is it's kind of like Simmons is a free agent. He doesn't want to get paid $50. So, he wants to get paid some money, right? So Bowen might be like, well, I can use him, but maybe only 25% of the snaps, maybe on anything 3rd and 10 or longer, I could put him on or something like that. So maybe 25% of the snaps. So then Shane's like, I'm going to pay this guy $8 million a year for 25% of the snaps. Nah, can't do that. So, I think that might be where the problem is. Unfortunately, it cost the Giants a 7th-round pick to get him, but it doesn't sound like and also the stuff I'm hearing and all of that doesn't sound like we're going to be bringing him back. Maybe we will. Man, the dude's a top 10 pick, 1st-round pick. All that's a heck of an athlete. It'd be nice to find something to do with him, but then again, as far as nobody signed him yet, so the same thing with Isaiah Hodgins. I thought he was gone and he wasn't coming back or nothing like that, but hey, surprise, surprise. So, if they do sign Isaiah Simmons, he wasn't a top priority, I guess, shall we say, but anything that's a key piece. Oh, well, we left Xavier McKinney go. Right? And it's a little surprising because, with Tennessee, I know they had some good safety play, right? And in Buffalo, not that Shane's calling defensive signals or not like that, but in Buffalo, they had 2 good safeties there on their defense. And Shane was there, I believe, when they drafted those guys. Or I mean, so you kind of think that they would make the safeties a kind of a priority. Now, I was looking on Spot Track. Now, this is kind of crazy. I saw like Azeez Ojulari. They had him at like $16.5 million a season. They're kind of figuring out his maybe his salary might be. Whoever signs him as a free agent, $16.5 million a season. Excited for this year, Giants. Oh, I hope so. Then again, I was pretty excited about him last year too. And holy cow. Oh, I'm excited about this draft though. Really excited about this draft. Oh yeah. Well, it's always, I mean, you always go into the season. It's like, man, I mean, because my last season, I mean, well, for week one, man, I'm like, good, we got the Cowboys. They're coming our place. We're going to kick their butt. We're going to show them who's boss. This is our town. And then we lose 40-0. It's like, oh my God. But I think we're going in the right direction. The thing is, the biggest thing is we got to figure out, what are we doing at quarterback? But we'll find. It doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It matters, we'll find out what Shane and Dave will think. Right? Go, especially going in this draft. So I wouldn't be surprised if they take somebody maybe in the third round or something like that, second or third round. Maybe like a little project for Dable to work on. Right, going forward. Oh yeah, boys didn't. Nope. Well, a lot of what they do is they don't. A lot of times they don't go out and go hog wild crazy on a lot of times on free agency. A lot of times what they do is they draft their guys, they keep their guys, they develop their guys, and they pay their guys. Unlike what the Giants did. Right? We drafted McKinney. But the thing is too is there's also kind of. Jerry Jones is the GM. So anybody ever get drafted from the Cowboys, that's his guy. See, with Shane and Dable coming in here, McKinney is not their guy because they didn't draft him. Barkley's not their guy. They didn't draft him, But I mean, like in a perfect world, the Giants drafted McKinney. We drafted Barkley. You draft them, you keep them, you develop them, you pay them, you keep them, right? You keep paying, right? Right. So a lot of times, like the Cowboys, they draft whoever they draft all the time. They try to keep them, and pay their guys. Right now, I have to wait and see what's going to go on with Dak. I mean, I keep hearing like maybe $55-60 million a year or something. Don't be surprised if Micah Parsons is a Giant. Man, could you imagine that? As long as he's not an Eagle. Well, then again, I mean, if if Gettleman, made a smart choice. Well, hindsight's always 20/20. But Micah Parsons could have been a New York Giant. What was it, 2021? Right? Instead of trading. I mean, because when, what was it, the Eagles, the Cowboys were at 10, the Eagles were at 12, whatever it was or something. And then they swapped. Right? So the Eagles jumped in front of the Giants to grab DeVonta Smith. Because apparently, I guess the Giants out of front office or whoever it was. I mean, they didn't do a very good job of hiding who they wanted. So apparently, the Eagles jumped in front of the Giants to grab DeVonta Smith. So now the Giants are sitting at number 11. It's like, well, let's see. We can have Micah Parsons or, whoa. Oh, I'm sorry. The phone's ringing. Hello, Bears? Yes. Oh, we can trade back to 20? Oh, okay. And you'll give us another first-round pick? Okay, so we'll draft Kadarius Toney, and then we'll take our first-round pick for the following year. Well, let's see. So we can have 2 first-round picks. One could be Kadarius Toney, or we can have Micah Parsons. Yeah, we don't want Micah Parsons. We'll take Kadarius Toney, and So I mean, the Giant. Could you imagine if Micah Parsons on this team? Wow, could you imagine that? Whew. Could you imagine like Tavon and? Oh man, could you imagine that? I mean, we wouldn't have all these guys on the team because if we had Micah Parsons, but could you imagine Burns and Parsons and Carrick and Dexter Lawrence and Cave? Could you imagine those 5 guys up front? Man. And then Dante Banks. Wow. The problem is that you just have to start paying all these guys. I don't know. I don't know what. Tony, yeah. Oh my God. I don't know what Parsons is going to get. Somewhere along the line, this will be his 4th season. Yeah, they'll probably have to pick up his 5th-year option because they don't, or I don't know, or somewhere maybe sign him to a long-term deal. But he's going to want probably $30 million a year or something like that. The one problem is having so many stars on your team. I mean, we're paying $30 million a season for Burns. Sexy Dexy's making 22, 23, whatever. What's Kayvon going to want? Right? We got a Carricade there. If we had Micah Parsons, he's going to want 25, 30 million. He's going to, so that's the one problem with the salary cap. You can only afford to pay so many guys, unfortunately. Especially with Darnold out of the league, we'll get huge. Oh yeah, Aaron Donald. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we just paid Burns $30 million, right? 5 years, $30 million a year. Oh yeah, Parsons is going to make some bank, that's for sure. But the problem with the Cowboys, if they have Dak, right? He's going to want maybe 50 or 60. But they got ABCD Lamb. What's he going to want? 25 or 30? What's Micah Parsons going to want? 30? Their problem is they got some really, really good guys, and you put up what, you put like 3 guys and you got like $120 million between 3 guys. It's, Dak wants 60, ABCD Lamb wants 30, Micah Parsons wants 30. That's $120 million. That's like what, 40% of your salary cap for 3 guys. It's like, that's the problem that the Cowboys are going to come up with because they got some good players right now. But, with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, they're on their rookie deals. So once they're rookie deals, and, they want to start getting paid like they should because they're studs. But you're right. The Cowboys let a lot of guys go. They haven't really signed much of anybody. They're almost the exact opposite of what the Eagles have been doing. The Eagles have lost some guys, but the Eagles keep signing guys. They just keep signing. There is a rumor that Shane may package the number with Kayvon. Yeah, I know. I don't see that happening. The only thing I could possibly happen would be because we just got Burns. So it's not like we're giving away Kayvon and we don't have an edge rusher. So we gave away Kayvon, we still have an edge rusher. So, but I'll tell you what, boy, if he does something like that, whoever he picks, he better be right. If he ain't right, he might just take his own pink slip and just sign it and just hand it over to Mr. Mara. Mr. Mara, I just fired myself. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm out of here. Now you better be right, boy. You give up your pick, and Kayvon. I've seen stuff like that too. I've seen all kinds of things. I heard like the hell was it? To move up to number 1 for the Bears, the Giants give away. I think they get Daniel Jones, pick number 6. Another 1 or 2 first round there. I see all this kind of stuff. Draft Drake May. Well, I'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. Because a lot of it also is that, it doesn't matter what we think. It's what do they think? And it might wind up being like with Dable, because it's, Shane sees certain things, but Dable's might be the quarterback whisperer. And Dable might be like, if we can get May, do it. What, But they don't know. Quite possibly Caleb's going to go 1, right? Who's going 2? Is it May? Would Washington even pick the phone up to talk to the Giants? Would Washington needs a quarterback? Would Washington want to jump, trade with the Giants? So the thing is, might be like, because they want May, he might go to Washington. So then the Giants are like, do we want Daniels? Do we want to trade up to get Daniels? It's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So a lot of this stuff's not going to happen until, the night of the draft. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, because after like maybe the second pick goes off the board, when pick 3 rolls around, because you might have one quarterback left, you know what I mean? There are any trades. And then when pick 4 rolls around, are there any trades, Because you do know that pick 4 and pick 5, they're really not looking for quarterbacks. Right? Oh, yes. Yeah, they can have Azeez. Well, this is his last year. Right? Because he's a second-round pick. There's no fifth-year option on him. So, I mean, this might be his last year with the Giants. I mean, the Giants might want to bring him back, but, I don't know what they're going to pay him. And this is a huge season for him. Can he stay healthy? Yeah, we don't need a quarterback. Where we got Washington? No way. Pats. I don't know if Washington would even pick the phone up. Oh yeah, you want to? Okay, you want to make a trade with us? Okay, sure. Yeah, we'll take those draft. Okay, so you're going to draft a quarterback that's going to beat our butt for the next 15 years. Okay, yeah, sure, we'll do that. We'll let you draft a quarterback that's going to beat us 2 times a year for the next 15 years. Okay, sure, yeah. But I mean, I said, why they need a quarterback? They really need a quarterback. So I don't even know if they'd even entertain anything. But I said, but a lot of it's, who's left? Who's the first? Caleb Williams might be the first to go. Who's the second to go? Who's the third? You know what I mean? Then, of course, you got the wild card with McCarthy. You keep hearing these things. He's going, shooting up the board. You hear that a lot sometimes. Sometimes you get all the McCarthy mania. And then when the night of the draft rolls around, he's there. Pick 9, he's still there. Pick 10, he's still there. Pick 11, you know what I mean? So you have to wait and see. I'm saying the Patriots, yeah, possibly. The thing is with the Patriots, you look at it, is that they need a lot, right? They got a new coach coming in. They need a lot. I mean, you got to start looking at some of it too. It's kind of like, well, we got pick 3. If Team A is calling us to give us 4 picks, and we could turn those 4 picks into 4 players, you might want to think about doing that, right? Instead of picking your quarterback and not having a team. We got our quarterback. We don't have anybody to throw the ball to. We don't have an offensive line to block for the guy. We don't have a running back, but we're our quarterback. I mean, so sometimes it's kind of like build your foundation and then try to get your quarterback. So there's all different ways of looking at it. Washington will not give Rappas. That would be kind of crazy. I mean, they're at the bottom for so long. I mean, they got a chance to get themselves I mean, obviously they have to feel good about whoever they're drafting. You know what I mean? But they need a quarterback. They really, really need a quarterback. Did you hear the rumor that Belichick is? No, I didn't. But he's out of a job, so he's free to talk to whoever he wants to, or say whoever he wants, or whatever. But one thing of that with Belichick, part of his heart is always here. He's always, he'll always bleed a little bit blue. Most of it is probably Patriots he bleed, but he'll always bleed a little bit blue. He always has fond memories of being here, and that's one thing. It seems like a lot of people seem to say the same thing about the memories of being with the Giants and everything like that. But, well, hey, we'll have to wait and see. I don't know what kind of role he'll want to be in. But, hey, anything's possible. The DC is going midseason. Here comes. Do you think he'd want to be a defensive coordinator after all those years being head coach? There would be that may not be, I don't know. I guess anything's possible, but after being a head coach that long, you'd want to come back and take it, I don't know. After being a head coach all that long, you'd think he'd want to be on the sideline and have Dable yelling at him. I guess anything's possible. Dable misses the playoffs. He's coming back. Yeah. Well, even if we don't make the playoffs this season, we better see improvement. Definitely have to see improvement. I mean, we have to see more than say, unless the whole team gets annihilated with injuries or something like that or whatever, there better be some improvement, or Dable's seat's going to start getting really, really hot. But no. The greatest head coach of all time is second fiddle. Nope. Yeah. Exactly. What we got? I don't think Dable would yell at Belichick. That's the greatest defensive mind. No, we'll have to, Well, I'll tell you what. I'm sure Belichick's being in this stadium. He never played actually in MetLife Stadium, but being in New Jersey, I mean, I'm sure Parcells yelled at him in the 80s, and then he's coming back here again. Had Dable yell at him, so I guess he'd be used to it. Somewhere along the line, Belichick's got to retire. I mean, guy's in the 70s. I mean, Jesus Christmas. Ruben, greatest head coach ever. Exactly. All right, guys. Hey, it's been 1 hour and 31 minutes. Is a record for me. Good talking to you guys. Thanks, man. Hey, thanks for keeping me up. This is freaking awesome. I love it. It's great talking to another Giant fan. I said 1 hour and 31 minutes. That's a record for me. That's a record. So, guys, man, great talking to you. Thanks. I really appreciate it. You guys freaking rock. Thank you so much. So, whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.